Perfect. Admitting now. Good morning, everyone.
Buenos días a todos.
Good morning. Welcome all.
Buenos días y bienvenidos.
Please drop your name and organizations in the chat. We'll get started in just a few minutes.
Empezaremos un momento. Por favor, pongan su nombre en el chat y también nombre de su organización.
Welcome.
Bienvenidos.
Good morning, North Valley. Good morning, Jakara
Buen
Movement.
día, Macao Movement, North Valley.
Good morning, West Modesto.
Y también buenos días a West Modesto.
We're going to give folks just a couple minutes to log on.
Daremos una oportunidad de que todos entren al sistema en este momento.
Okay, so for our interpreters, I'm going to go ahead and review the interpretation slide in English and Spanish. So once I'm done reviewing the instructions in Spanish, then the rooms will be turned on.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Activator Plus orientation session for today.
Sí,
I'm going to
bienvenidos
go
a la
ahead and
Orientación
review
Plus.
the interpretation slide. Okay, so to access interpretation, you'll need to proceed to the bottom of the Zoom ribbon, select on the globe, and you will either need to select English or Spanish. If you are on a smartphone or tablet, you can proceed to click on the three ellipses, the little dots, and then you can go ahead and select English or Spanish. Voy a repasar las instrucciones en español. Si quieren prender la interpretación, pueden proceder a la pantalla inferior de Zoom, seleccionar el globito y pueden seleccionar inglés o español. Si están en una tableta o teléfono inteligente, pueden seleccionar los 3 puntos y pueden seleccionar inglés o español. Tendrán que seleccionar uno o el otro. Y ahorita aprenderemos los cuartos de interpretación. Gracias. Okay, the room should be on for interpretation. And I'm going to go ahead and review our housekeeping. So closed captioning, to turn on closed captioning feature, click on the show captions icon at the bottom of your Zoom window. Click the icon again to turn off closed captioning. Next slide. Question and answers. Use the chat for general communications and the dedicated Q&A pod for questions. Select Q&A from the toolbar and enter your question into the field at the bottom of the Q&A window. Answers to all questions asked during the webinar will be compiled and then published to the CWOP webpage. Next slide. Your participation means a lot for a productive and meaningful meeting. So if you can please have cameras on, that would be great. We're going to allow you guys to mute yourselves so you can come off and on audio, but we do ask that you please be mindful of any background noise, because if anything should come through that shouldn't, it will create lag time in making the recording available to partners. So really appreciate your assistance with that. Comments can be left in the chat. You're allowed to leave emoji reactions. You can respond check mark and X for yes, no, and you can thumbs up to share your 2 cents. This orientation will be recorded. Agenda: welcome and introduction, CWOP overview, structures and roles, core reporting platform, grant agreement and payment process, admin support and technical assistance, resources, questions and answers. Welcomes and introductions. Okay, so for the DIR team, we have Jennifer Lim. She's not on the call today, but she is our deputy director. We have myself, community engagement manager 2, Cynthia Sandoval, a returning CWOP project and grants manager. I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to my staff so they can introduce themselves, starting off with Salvador Rodriguez.
Thank you, Cynthia. Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Salvador Rodriguez. I'm the Outreach and Education Specialist with the Office of External Affairs, and I'm a liaison with CalOSHA in regards to heat illness prevention. I might have met some of you last year if you're returning. For those that haven't met me, I'm hoping to meet all of you this year in this next iteration of CWOP. I'm very excited to be here today and to be able to share this all with you today, this information. And I'll pass this over to Isis Martinez.
Isis, you might be on mute.
Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Isis Martinez, and I'm happy to be joining you all in my first CWOP adventure. I look forward to meeting every one of you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you. And I'll direct that back to Cynthia.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce Vanessa Soto. She's supporting in our Spanish room. Vanessa supports the Division of Apprenticeship Standards, another division within DIR. And she is the Outreach and Education Specialist. And then I will pass it off to our newest team member, Esmeralda Magaña Gordillo.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Esme Magaña Gordillo. I am the Outreach and Education Specialist. I am the newest member on this team, but I come with a lot of experience. I am newly transitioning from CalOSHA, so many of you probably have met me from attending some of your events because I was with CalOSHA. So I'm new to the team, but I'm not new to DIR. So I'm happy to be here and looking forward to assisting everyone and supporting the team.
I do want to note that what makes this team so special is that many of us do come from blue-collar families, agricultural background, bracero backgrounds. So a lot of us have lived the same experiences as workers or have had family members that have been in the same situation. And that's what makes this team so special. And we are very happy and ready to serve all of you. Next slide. I'll pass this over to Micah Yang from UC Merced.
Thank you, Cynthia. Welcome, everyone. Good to see many of you who are returning to CWOP, and then welcome to our new CWOP partners as well. I am Micah Ying. I'm with the UC Merced Community Labor Center. Oh, oops. I think the interpreter was coming through. And so we have been part of CWOP since the first iteration. Last round, we were part of administrative team, along with some of you all here may know LOHP, UC Berkeley team, and Heather from UC Davis Western Center on Ag team, as well as the LOSH team from UCLA. So this time we have the pleasure of bringing on our UC Labor Center and UC Berkeley Labor Center partners to join us in providing support to the entire project as TA providers. So I'll have Dominica and Xochitl on our team introduce themselves, and then Pam and Tia will introduce their teams too. So Dominica, I know she's behind the slides here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dominica. I'm the Assistant Coordinator of Public Programs. I work along with Micah and Socho at UC Merced. So excited to be here and excited to do another iteration of CWOP with all of you. I'll pass it to Socho.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Xochitl Lopez, and I am at UC Merced. I'm going to be working with those of you that are going to participate in the Rural Strategic Engagement Program. So I look forward to working with you. I'll pass it to Pamela.
Thanks so much, Sochi. I'm Pam Egan. I direct the Labor Management Partnerships team at the UC Berkeley Labor Center, and we get to work with all of you in CWOP. We're really excited about it. It's great to see some faces that we already know, and we're really looking forward to working with all of the folks that we don't yet know. So I'll pass it to my colleague, Laura Watson.
Thanks, Pam. Good morning, everyone. My name's Laura, and I work here at UC Berkeley Labor Center with High Road Training Partnerships, among other things. And as Pam mentioned, this is our first iteration. So really looking forward to learning from you and supporting you guys. And I'll pass it over to Tia.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. So good to see familiar faces and exciting to meet some new folks. My name is Tia Kuntz. I'm at the UCLA Labor Center. So I'll be providing some of the TA for regional leads from the IE and San Diego, from Imperial Valley and San Diego and LAOC. And I'll pass it back to Cynthia.
Okay. Next slide. Thank you. Micah, did you want to do the intro for Activator
Yes.
Plus? Okay.
Yeah, so we've introduced our teams. Now we'd like to, I know many of you already included in the chat and introduced yourselves, but if you haven't yet, please introduce yourselves, your name. You know, we have over 100 people here today, so lots and lots of people. Would love to go around and have everyone introduce themselves, but of course we want to make sure we have good use of our time and get through the slide. So if you haven't yet already, please share your name, your organizations, and the regions that you will be doing outreach. If you're a returning CWOP partner or if you're new to CWOP, and what's one thing is a quick check-in question in your chat. What's one thing you're looking forward to in this role? So we'd love to get to know all of you a little bit more. I know many of you are returning. We've gotten to know you over the past couple of years, but you know, in this every iteration, it's always a great opportunity to get to know you and what you're looking forward to. So please have a chance to share in the chat. We'll try to read some of them out if we can. So we'll give you all a few seconds here before I turn it back to Cynthia. All right, we're looking forward to collaborate with all partners to ensure farm workers are safe in their workplaces. Yes, I mean. And yes, so welcome to some new Emma. Welcome, Laura from eBayC. I think you're all returning too. So yeah, keep it coming.
Yes,
Okay.
welcome HDC. Happy to have you here as a new partner.
And Blanca, looking forward to new partnerships. Yes, every round is always new partnerships, right? So they're all coming. So we can't read all of them, but really great to just, I think, see that you all are expanding your partnerships, the outreach to workers. Great to see. I think so. Thank you for sharing. Keep them coming. So I'll turn it back to Cynthia.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to try to cover all these slides first to leave ample time for questions and answers. So if you could please use the Q&A pod for questions, but if you feel more comfortable dropping your question in the chat, we have staff behind the scenes that are making note of those questions so we can make sure to address them all. They'll also be published on the CWOP webpage so that you can reference them, okay? The recordings as well. So we're going to go ahead and do the California Workplace Outreach Project overview. Next slide. Okay, so we're going to get started with how CWOP started in the beginning. So in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, CWOP was created. So that started February 2021. And within that first iteration, it was noticed that there was room for more labor rights information, such as paid sick leave, retaliation, wage theft, also safety and health information, workers' compensation to also make its way to these communities and help empower workers. So we were lucky enough to get a second iteration that started in November 2021. Moving on to a third in 2022, that's when I came on board supporting CWOP 3.0. Then we moved on to CWOP 4.0, September 2023. And now here we are, March 2025 is when we started the process for 5.0, 6.0. Next slide. So let's go over the objectives. Do want to give a shout out to Valley Forward and also Jakara Movement for inviting us to this great mural unveiling that really showcases, you know, the dedication of CBOs to the Biola community and really shows an organizer in the middle, agricultural worker on the side, also warehouse worker, and also medical staff. So great picture. Thank you for that. So our first is to build upon the lessons learned and successes achieved in previous CWOP iterations with a renewed focus on fostering an informed, safe, and healthy workplace culture across California. Second is to conduct education on workplace rights and safety practices, ensuring that every worker has the knowledge and tools needed to protect themselves and their colleagues. Third is to inspire action and change in the workplace rights and safety practices. Next slide. We're going to review the CWOP strategic components, workplace protections education, language and accessibility, engagement and outreach, partnership and collaboration, and rural strategic engagement. Engagement and outreach strategies, high quality, interactive, and peer-to-peer engagements, which include door-to-door canvassing, phone banking, outreach at events or high traffic areas, meetings being interactive, virtual, or in person. Engagement and outreach strategies, promotional, educational engagements, social media posts, PSA, interview, and other media appearance, flyers, mailers, existing communication tools, newsletters, blogs, and emails. Priority topics, workplace health and safety and hazards such as heat illness, paid sick leave, wage theft, workers' compensation, anti-retaliation protections, worker-related complaint and claim filing processes and procedures, support filing complaints for workplace noncompliance, and others identified by CBOs, aka grantees. Next slide. High-risk industries, agriculture, car wash, food processing, including meat packing, food service, including restaurants, grocery and retail, janitorial and hospitality, warehouse logistics, manufacturing, garment, residential care, and others identified by CBOs. Thank you. Okay, so structures and roles. I'm going to pass this over to Micah Yang.
Thank you, Cynthia. And so this is really a chart to kind of demonstrate the different roles. So you have DAR, who is here primarily the project administrator here and also the funder. And then you have us at the UC Merced Community Labor Center, along with UCLA Labor Center, UC Berkeley Labor Center, and we will continue to play the role of technical assistance providers, helping to support Cynthia and her team, and then also supporting the respective regions, particularly with the regional leads, and then each of you in your roles in carrying out the CWOP campaign. And so each of the UCs, and many of you may have been part of CWOP in the last round, we had the pleasure of working with UC Berkeley, LOHP, and UCLA Loach, and the UC Davis Western Center Ag. So they're all also back, but also as activators in this round, Activator Plus in this round. So UCLA Labor Center, that's Tia, she will kind of handle and support the regions, including the Black Worker Hub, LAOC, and San Diego and Imperial region. And then with us at UC Merced, we will continue to support the San Joaquin Valley region, the Inland Empire region, and the Rural Strategic Clinic hosts. UC Berkeley Labor Center, that's Pam and Laura, will also be supporting the Bay Area, Central Coast, Northern and Sacramento regions. So next slide. And so you'll see here are the different regions. In this round, we added a northern region. And so northern region and Sacramento regions have now been combined. And the regional leads, which many of you will be working with, is the Center for Worker Rights. Then we have the San Joaquin or Central Valley region. We have a new regional lead, but not new to CWOP. Our partners at the Fresno Madera Tulare Kings Labor Council, who will be overseeing and supporting that region. And then we have the Bay Area region, that's WorkSafe, also a returning regional lead. Serving the Bay Area region. And then Central Coast, we have the Monterey Bay Central Labor Council. They've been a part of CWOP partnership before, but also returning in a role of regional lead. And then we have SoCal Kosh supporting the Los Angeles and the OC region. And then we have our Black Worker Hub supporting the LA Inland Empire and San Diego region. And then we'll go to San Diego Imperial, and that's Employee Rights Center. And then we have a new regional lead for the Inland Empire region, and that's the Inland Empire San Bernardino Labor Council. And so some of these regional leads will have co-regional leads. Many of them also need to CWOP. And so you will be communicating with your regional leads. We will provide all of the contact info. So regional leads are really playing that key role of coordinating the different partners in the region. So next slide. And here's a chart, and like I said, we'll share all the contact information. So these are the assignments of which UC lead will support which regions, and a list of the counties within the specific regions. And so I will kind of turn it over to Pam to share a little bit more about the CWOP network, and then talk a little bit more in detail about the Activator Plus role. So Pam?
Super. Thanks, Micah. So one of the very greatest things about the CWOP, as many of you know from having already worked the program so well, is that it creates this integrated network that can really reach workers, right? Reach workers where they are, and really support the needs and resources, and get the information where it needs to be. And as Micah described, the regional leads really play the convening role in that region. Activators are really getting folks on the ground where they two folks on the ground where they need to be, and all of you as Activator Pluses do that work and then add something special. And that's really a powerful network. And then that network is also supported by rural strategic engagement clinic posts that will provide those special trainings and really additional direct assistance. So it's this great network approach. Next slide, please. And I'll just briefly go through the specific activities for each of the roles. And then, as Micah said, turn it over to her for a deeper dive into the role that all of you will be playing. And of course, many of you know this from both the grant offering and from your previous work. So we'll just do this pretty briefly. So activators are engaging in direct outreach to workers, things like door-to-door canvassing, phone banking, and then outreach events, right? At events you may create, or working busy locations where you know workers will be. And then organizing interactive meetings, and those can be virtual or in person. Next slide, please. Activator Pluses, yay, do all of those same things, right? And you've all, of course, agreed to take on at least one of these tasks. Coordination of outreach events, providing direct support to workers, training for worker leaders, really critical, or really important and critical technical assistance. Okay. Next slide, please. And then again, as Micah described, the regional leads really will facilitate collaboration among all of the coalition members in each region to address challenges that you may come up against, to achieve outreach goals, really sort of add value to each other's outreach goals by sort of convening folks, and coordinating strategies for direct outreach so that we can continue always to learn from each other. Next slide, please. And then there's the Rural Strategic Engagement Clinic posts, right? These are folks who are going to be organizing and hosting regular clinics with legal services, really critical. They'll coordinate with DIR, the DIR divisions and also other state agencies to bring that support to workers. And you see the note here that there will be more information on onboarding for RSE hosts. So stay tuned. Next slide, please. And so just sort of to touch on what that information is going to look like, but again, more information to come. And this is an opportunity that's open only to Activator Pluses. Remember, folks have been asked to express interest. If you are interested as an Activator Plus in being an RSE clinic host, please send that email to CWOP@vir.ca.gov by 4/25. The plan is to have decisions made on a rolling basis. DIR will request a proposed staffing structure and a clinic description from organizations that are selected. And then we'll select organizations and let folks know. You'll note here on the slide, decisions will be informed by your past experience with CWOP, past experience holding these kinds of clinics or these kinds of large scale events with input from regional leads and or technical assistance partners. And then when selected, organizations will then supplement your Activator Plus contract there with the additional numbers for the RSE clinics. And then those numbers will be finalized when the grant agreement's executed. So that's what we have so far, but again, stay tuned. And I'll pass it to Micah.
Thank you, Pam. And so I'm going to just do a little quick overview of the Activator Plus role. For many of you, this is probably not new. For many of you who are new, this is really an important component of being part of the CWOP network. And so as Activators Plus, you will be participating in monthly regional coalition meetings. So that's to say that in any region that you are doing outreach, you will participate in the regional coalition meetings led by the local regional lead. And those recurring meetings will be scheduled by the regional lead. And so this is a space where you will have the opportunity to share, to learn from each other, from what's happening out in the field, maybe strategize on outreach, explore opportunities to collaborate and partner with each other, with state agencies. And then in addition to that, you will have your monthly one-on-one meetings with your regional lead, and these will also be scheduled with your regional lead. And this is an opportunity to learn also kind of have a little bit more time with the lead to discuss what's been happening out in the field for your specific outreach, what support and resources are in need, any challenges. It could be like admin challenges, or we'll talk a little bit about cord reporting. Those could be brought up during these sessions with your regional lead. They can kind of troubleshoot and make sure you have the connections and resources that you need to support your outreach. And then you will also participate in statewide briefings and trainings. And these are going to be quarterly briefings that will be held by DIR and the UC leads. Those schedules will be provided and calendar invites will be sent out. So these are opportunities to kind of get a glimpse of the statewide network, what's happening, opportunities to share and learn from the different regions. And then we may bring in speakers to share more in certain areas and fields. And then additional trainings that will be scheduled by DIR or among all of you Activators Plus. These are opportunities to engage and work across regions. We have really tremendous, diverse expertise right here in this room from some of the UC Labor Centers, some of the labor, LOHP, UC Davis. Many of you have great expertise to share. So this is really an opportunity to expand and build on the strength of the CWOP network. So next slide. And then for Activators roles, one of the key pieces is doing direct outreach, just like the Activators. So really prioritizing the peer-to-peer interactive outreach out in the field. These are where two-way conversations take place with community members. Much of this, many of you have been brought on because of your expertise as a trusted messenger in the community. You know your communities best. You conduct outreach in the languages that can reach communities. So these are really important, kind of really just that trusted messenger network is really, key to the outreach. And some of these outreach tactics will include door-to-door canvassing, phone banking, outreach at events like high traffic areas, in front of storefronts, parking lots, areas where people congregate. And then interactive meetings, and these are in person or virtual meetings with workers or community members. Next slide. And then in addition to the direct outreach, we have 4 more activities that some of you have selected to take on. The first is coordination of outreach events. These are large and small scale events. So the large scale events are any in-person outreach event with 125 or more attendees. They can be multi-day events, conferences, large community cultural events and summits, and so on. And then the smaller scale events are also in person with 25 to 124 attendees. They can be caravans, resource fairs, workshops, day of recognition, and memorial events, and so on. Next slide. In addition to those events is the direct support for workers. So we heard you loud and clear from last time around that you want to support directly to workers. And so these are really helping workers to navigate the complaint or claim processes with the various state agencies. So it could be like, Cal OSHA complaint on health and safety hazards, retaliation complaint with the Labor Commissioner's office, or wage theft. You might be providing assistance or advice in how workers can really take alternative approaches to resolving a labor violation or issue at work. And then securing representation for the claim or complaint process. And so DR will, provide some trainings and guidance on some of these direct supports. Next slide. And then training for worker leaders. So we know many of you have expertise. You have worked for years and years providing training, direct support to workers. And so many of you want to take on this, also building your internal capacity to do these. So these are trainings that are conducted in person for grantee staff, like other CWOP partners, maybe other activators, or other activator pluses. And this is really building their capacity to increase their knowledge about many of these complaint processes, with the various DIR divisions. These trainings are going to be quarterly, 1 hour long, focus on skill building and have participatory activities. So it's not just like you're just presenting and people listening, but you're actually engaging the worker leaders, the staff in actually learning and building skills. Next slide. And then lastly is the TA or technical assistance. So many of you already do this. Many of you will kind of play that role of supporting other CWOP grantees or other smaller organizations who are not part of CWOP on, like some of you have legal expertise. You know how to guide workers in navigating through the process. So it could be that some organizations, like, we're just starting this out. We don't really know how to help workers. This isn't in our area. Say, for example, health and safety. They may come to you and say, some of you have health and safety expertise, or wage theft complaint is kind of your area. You might be providing guidance to some of those staff. And so it's really supporting, kind of interpreting some of those laws, regulations, helping to identify what the workers need, maybe suggesting some tools, how to gather information, evidence for a claim, or recommending actions to support workers. So like strategizing also, and how to file like an effective complaint, what information should be included. All right, so those are all of the roles. I know it's a lot, but I think many of you have heard it over and over in the RFA and office sessions, but we as TA providers will be here to support you, and you all have this great network of Activators Plus who are very experienced and have a lot of knowledge and value to add to the program. So I'm going to turn it over to Salvador, who's going to talk about CORD reporting platform and how do you report those activities.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Micah. Yes, so CORD, that's what's going to be used this time around for CWOP, and it'll be the online reporting platform. So what CORD will be used for is that you'll be submitting monthly outreach activities, track deliverable progress, and then you can access outreach content, flyers, posters, social media toolkits, and publications. And then you can also access trainings and brief recordings like we are doing today with this specific recording. You can view it later on in CORD. So it'll be housed all of this great information for all of you to be able to access in real time. Next slide, please. Perfect. So for CORD reporting periods and due dates, so submit monthly outreach progress to CORD, covering the outreach activities for the previous month. Monthly reporting is due on the first Thursday of the month, so make sure to just keep that in mind. Reporting will start August of this year, 2025, but it is subject to change pending grant agreement execution dates. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. But as of now, it would be August 2025, the reporting will start. For CBOs, we encourage to complete activities weekly to avoid falling behind. So you want to make sure that you're inputting those in when we are asking for them or the dates that they're supposed to be in. So that way we can go ahead and get everything going in a timely manner. And then a reporting schedule will be provided to all grantees as well too. So you'll have that information. So don't worry just yet. We'll make sure that we hand everyone out, or we give everyone this information so you have it at your disposal. So for core training, and don't worry, maybe some of you haven't used it before, or maybe you have, we're going to have virtual trainings to review CORD functions. And as you see here on the screen, the date that it falls for Activator Plus will be on Tuesday, May 13th from 2 to 4. So you'll be receiving calendar holds and calendar invites for the CORD training. We do encourage everyone, since it is mandatory, to attend for this specific training, since it's going to be on CORD, and this will be where you will all have to be very well versed to submit all of your work that you've been doing, that you'll be doing, of course, for this iteration of CWOP. Okay, so most of you might have already received. If not, that's perfectly fine. We're going to be sending out more emails, either an email from myself, from Cynthia, or from Vanessa, asking for your organizations, the individuals that are in your organization that have to have a CORD account. So you might have received the email, and it's just asking for the information from your organization for all those individuals that should have a CORD account. So that way, when we go ahead and start, when we have you all submit your deliverables, all of you have your CORD accounts and you're ready to go. So just follow the instructions that we're emailing to you to create your CORD account. If any issues were to arise or anything, you can always reach out to us. We're more than happy to assist you. But we want to make sure that everyone does have their CORD account so that when deliverables are supposed to be reported, you all have access to your account. We're actually going to be putting the information on the chat here for everyone to have access to. And again, the emails are being sent out. And if you don't receive it, or if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Cynthia, and she'll go over grant agreements and payment process.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the grant agreement and payment process. So grant agreement, finalize grant agreement process and finalize execution by June 30th, 2025. Deadline for grantees to submit grant agreement packet to DIR is Friday, May 6th by COB 5 p.m. Performance period, 24 months, starting from the date of a fully executed agreement. Outreach activities count towards deliverables from the agreement execution date. Grantees receive 25% award advance. No reimbursement of expenses spent outside of the grant period is permissible. No extensions of grant funding period or performance period. Grant agreements amended for Activator Plus awarded additional role for funding for the RSC clinics. Next slide. Grant agreement and performance review. Grantees will receive a 12-month award with an option to renew for a second 12-month period, pending performance on deliverables and reporting. timely reporting of outreach activities in court, progress towards deliverables, timely invoice submission, attendance at agency briefings and trainings. Grant agreement required documents. To fully execute a grant agreement, submit required documents. Grant agreement. Exhibit A, scope of work. Exhibit B, project narrative. Exhibit C, outcomes and deliverables. Exhibit D, budget summary. Exhibit E, budget narrative. Exhibit F, grant terms and conditions. And SCD-204 form, pay data record, which many of you have probably already provided us. We did have to reach out to some orgs to have them corrected. Most everyone has reached back out and provided that. If we do need it, we will reach out to you and ask for it. Templates for all of these will be provided. Exhibit C, outcomes and deliverables. SOW deliverables can be modified proportional to grant award amount. So what does this mean? If you did not get granted what you requested, the full amount, you can proportionately reduce your deliverables on the SOW that you will be handing in to reflect that amount so that you were actually awarded. Provide explanation of changes to SOW. Select up to 3 regions where 20% or more of outreach will take place. SOW deliverables template will be provided. Outreach activity type guide will be provided. Grant agreement review process. April 22nd, grant agreement packet plus templates will be emailed to grantees. May 6th, grantee submits the packet to DIR. UCs are going to take the first review of the grantee outcomes and deliverables. UC sends grantee outcomes and deliverables for corrections and resubmission if needed. DIR reviews and approves. June 30th, grant agreement finalized and executed. This is just a copy of the STD-204. Payment process. To receive payment, grantee will submit invoices on a quarterly basis. Email detailed invoice deliverables and backup documentation to the CWOP invoices@dir.ca.gov email. You can use this email for any questions that you have in regards to invoicing as well. Grantee must submit the following to receive payment. Detailed invoices for actual expenses approved in grantee budget from the reporting period quarter. Transaction ledger report and payroll reports for all salary and benefit for invoicing period. Board reports for the invoice period demonstrating progress update on outcomes and deliverables as defined in Exhibit C. Payment process. Grantee submits invoice to CWOP invoice email. DIR reviews invoices. DIR sends grantee invoices for corrections and resubmission if needed. DIR reviews and approves invoices. DIR sends invoice for processing and payment. Admin support and technical assistance. I'm going to pass this over to Tia Coons.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about roles that DIR and then the UC Labor Centers, Merced, Berkeley, and UCLA are playing with respect to giving administrative and technical support. So first, as you see here on this slide, we will be holding virtual office hours. So I think we'll have time today to answer a lot of questions, but my guess is once you guys get back into your applications and start amending them, you'll have a lot of questions. So please attend our office hours. We've got office hours for Activators Plus next Wednesday, April 23rd from 10 to 12 will be all yours. Look out for that calendar invite. Next slide, please. But then what to do if you need administrative support. So the DIR is going to provide your support for outcomes and deliverables, for your budget and your budget narrative, for any financial reporting questions you have, for questions about your grant agreement. And Cynthia, Esmeralda, Salvador, Vanessa, and Isis, all of whom are here, will be your best friends if you have questions. What if you have still more questions? For example, adjusting your budget right now for submission. We are going to be providing technical assistance for guys. So outcomes and deliverables, changes that you want to run by us. And as Cynthia indicated, we'll actually be the first recipients of those before you submit to DIR so that we can kind of go back and forth and make sure we address any questions you guys have. We'll be holding office hours and workshops as well as one-on-one consultations. We'll be helping out with your cord reporting. And then we have a budget for printing. So in the event that you already know that you want to run some of the retaliation pamphlets or something else which is prepared, it's in your language, it's in Cord, you're a returning CWOPer and you already know what you want run, let me know and I can get a run printed out for you. On the right-hand side, Micah's already been through this, but for folks from San Joaquin Valley, Inland Empire, and then folks who are doing the rural strategic engagement, you're going to want to contact Micah, Domenica, and Sochi. For folks from the Bay Area and the Central Coast and Sacramento and Northern California, you're going to want to focus on Pamela and Laura when you need help. And then for the Black Worker Hub, folks from the LAOC, or folks from San Diego and Imperial County, you're going to want to contact me for support. And it's really going to help us if we make sure we have the right contact info for you guys. So not to beat a dead horse, I know Cynthia has already indicated that we need everybody's updated info, but please make sure we've got the right staffer, the right org, the region, the email address, up-to-date phone numbers, preferred language, and then tell us if you already have a Cord account, right? And then if you don't, respond to the email in order to get set up with a Cord account. I'll pass it back to Salvador to talk about resources.
Thank you so much, Tia. Yes. So next slide, please. Thank you. So we do encourage all of you, again, if you've been with CWOP in the past, or this is your first time with CWOP, we do encourage all of you to reach out and invite us to your events to participate at those outreach events. We do host, or we do hold what we call enterprise events, and that usually indicates that all three of our divisions, Kalosha, Division of Workers' Compensation, and then Labor Commissioner's Office will attend the event. And we go to try to amplify and support your message. If you need for just one of our divisions to attend, that's perfectly fine as well too. If your event's going to focus more, let's say, on heat, illness prevention, you'd want to contact Kalosha for that. And we can go ahead and bridge that, we can bring you together with them to see who's able to attend your events. Also, we do work very, very closely with our sister agencies, which are EDD and also ALRB. So if you ever would like to have them attend as well too, we can go ahead and connect you with someone. If you have someone you already know, that's great. If not, we can connect you with someone from those specific state departments. So we do work very closely with them. And again, if you would like to go ahead and have us attend, because last year I attended many, many events and it was great. We did so much good work last year with some of the divisions or some of the CBOs that are returning. We would like for the new CBOs that are joining us this time to also have that experience with us to be able to amplify your message at your events. As you see here on the screen, we do have the DIR outreach request form, which we've just added to the chat. Please go ahead and fill that out. We do ask that you submit the form at least 3 weeks, if possible, before your event, so we can go ahead and see if our divisions are able to attend and if we're able to attend as well too. Because if we are, rest assured that we will be there to help in any way that we can and to support for your events. Okay, so for the regional outreach and forecasting calendar, to coordinate for CBO partner outreach events and collaboration, again, we do ask that you send your request in advance, about at least roughly 3 weeks, and we can see if we are able to attend and what kind of support and resources you might need, and we can probably provide those at your event. Okay, so definitely please invite us. Here are more resources that you will have at your disposal, which will be the regional partners contact list, FAQs, the RFA amendment number 4, and also Cord account sign-up guide, and then Cord account activity guide as well too. So again, these will be all resources that you'll have at your disposal, so you can go ahead and it can make it this year's or this iteration of CWOP that much more better. Okay, so now we've reached the portion of the presentation where we're going to have questions and answers, and I'll pass it off back to Cynthia.
Thank you so much. I do see we had a few questions in the chat. I'm going to do my best to answer these. Some of these I might need to confer back with my team and DIR leadership and get back to you, but let's go ahead and start. Let's see here. So the first one I see is from Jorge Luna. Is there a process for approval of data management costs, such as use of CRM? Jorge, if you can please send me an email with that question. I'll have my team also note your name and that particular question. I'm going to need to check in with program on that to get you a response. But thank you. Great question. Ruth, yes, we have emailed the instructions for Cord. So her question was, have you emailed the instructions for Cord yet? So you can actually secure your own Cord account. My team has been reaching out to everyone by email. I do want to clear something up. So when we first constructed the contact list, it was taken from whoever was listed on your guys' applications. Now we're aware that that might not be everyone that needs to be attending, trainings or update sessions. So my team has diligently been reaching out by email and phone number to all organizations to make sure that we can be provided a complete list of your staff and if they have access to Cord and if they need to be on the update and training list. So if you guys could please look out for that email and answer back, that way we can get this list more finalized, that would be great. We can also drop the instructions again in the chat. To secure a Cord account, the instructions are also listed on the CWOP webpage, but we're also including them in the emails when we're reaching out to everyone so that you can make sure that anybody on your team that needs to still secure an account can actually do so. So just wanted to let you guys know that. And also thank you for your continued patience while we build the list. We absolutely don't want anyone missed. So if you see double emails, it's with the purpose right now of making sure everyone's captured until we have one centralized list. Okay, so thank you for that. So let's see. So I had a question. So what is a program start date for 5.0? So we are setting it for 6/30/2025 to have all grant agreements fully executed. So that's the projected date. And that's what we're going to stick to for now. Thank you, Andres, for that question. Okay, let's see if we have anything else. Can we please show again the slides with the timelines related to submitting finalized contracts? If we can please flip back to that for Kate O'Hara. We'll also be providing the slide deck, Kate. So just wanted to let you know, but we'll be happy to review that slide for you.
Thank you.
If you would like to take a screenshot for now, feel free to go ahead and to do that. So we have another question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. A clarification. It says Friday, May 6th. May 6th is a Tuesday. So what is the date?
Okay, it's May 6th. We can make that correction.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And
okay.
Cynthia, can you show there was another slide that said what we would receive on April 22nd?
Okay, yeah, sure. I believe it was like the orange bar, I think. There you go.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
This is Juanita with CRLA Foundation. I just wanted to ask regarding, there was quite a bit about a meeting in person. And though some very reluctantly have met in person, the majority of workers right now, because of what's going on, the climate right now, do not want to meet in person. They prefer to have meetings on the phone. Those are successful. They've been successful, meetings on the phone, because more workers feel reassured and they call in and they ask their questions and so forth. So I just wanted to let you know that's going on right now because of the workers being so worried about ICE rating when there's an in-person meeting.
Yes, thank you, Juanita. If you can please send that concern into the CWOP inbox, I can bring it back to DIR leadership so they can review your feedback and see if there's any changes that can be made. I don't ever have a problem bringing anybody's questions to the bigger table. So please feel free. That's what we're here for. Totally understand. And we'll definitely ask the appropriate questions around that. So thank you for bringing that forward.
Thank you.
So
Cynthia,
I have another.
This is Naomi, and maybe you were gonna go over my question right now, but I think it was confusing the last when they were presenting about what we are gonna do with the leads and what with DIR. So anything that we do about the grant agreements to after we receive them and finalize them and submit them, that's directly with DIR, correct? Or with the leads?
Well, the leads are going to be the first to take the first review, just in case there's anything that was missed or needs to be resubmitted or corrected. And then they're going to go ahead and pass that off to DIR.
But we
So
submit the agreement.
Yes. You can submit it. You can submit it to the CWOP inbox and we'll forward it over to your UC lead so they can take the first review. Okay, thank you. Okay, Kate, is it possible for contract to be executed sooner if they're ready? No, unfortunately not. We're sticking to the June 30th date. Okay, awesome, Ruth. You found the instructions. To yet, our central office needs to review and approve the final agreement prior to execution. Will the timeline allow for an internal agreement process before the agreed upon start date? If you need to take longer to yet, I will just warn you that it will throw the timeline back, which will make it's depending on what your internal process is. I would probably send an email to the CWOP inbox letting us know how many days that would take so that we can give you an appropriate answer on that. Thank you. Kate, the dollar amount we have been awarded, is that for 24-month amount, or is it 12-month amount that can be renewed for another 12 at the same amount? So right now, as it stands on the CWOP webpage, we have the amounts for the first 12 months. So you would double that amount, and that would be the amount for the 24 months. If you like, we can leave the CWOP webpage address for you, Kate, so you can take a look.
Thank you. I have that, but thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Let me see if I have anything in Q&A. From Ellen, to clarify, the scope of work is due May 6th. Yes, it is. Anonymous participant. Let's see here. We attended today's onboarding session and wanted to check in for a bit of clarification. We were a little unsure if we were in the right meeting. From what we understand, we are categorized as activators for this work, but today's session seems to be geared more toward Activator Plus. We received 2 invites, one for today's session and one for Friday. Just wanted to confirm we should be attending both. If you're actually an activator, you will have to be attending the session tomorrow. Just to clear that up, Zoom actually globally went down yesterday, so we had to reschedule the activator session that was scheduled for yesterday to Friday to accommodate for their troubleshooting. So yes, so our apologies if you received 2 invites, but tomorrow's session would be more appropriate for you because it's based around activators. Thank you. And much of the same information will be covered tomorrow, but yes, that would be the one that you will want to attend tomorrow. From Ellen, any work events we conduct prior to the grant start date, can that still be counted towards deliverables? For instance, we have a job resource fair in late June. No, I'm sorry, Ellen. It cannot be counted. Any work beforehand, it needs to be once you have a fully executed contract. Jorge Zavala, does this mean we are being funded for 24 months at the same rate, or do we just plan for year 1? So what this means, Jorge, is that if you meet all your deliverables, you should plan being funded for 24 months. There will be an evaluation period around month 11, and we will be checking that you've been sending your invoices in on time, you've been completing your core reporting, and that you've been meeting your deliverables. So we will have that evaluation process to make sure that everybody's where they need to be, but we will be evaluating as the program launches and goes on, so that if anybody's in a situation where we should need to provide some extra support to make sure that nobody falls into that situation, we do so appropriately. Okay. Ruth, since we may be lowering deliverables because there is less money, should we just lower numbers or can we remove one of the 4 categories? You should lower numbers in one of the categories is what you should do, not remove categories, because you were awarded based on the categories that you selected to exercise outreach in. Please feel free to send in any questions. We have plenty of time to answer them, so please do. We'll be waiting here just to see if any more come in. And if you feel more comfortable unmuting yourself, please do. That also works. Meanwhile, we're waiting for questions. I did want to also mention that it's ideal for you to maintain communication with your UC lead in case you do fall into any situations where your reporting might be late. Maybe there's staffing changes. We understand that sometimes there might be mitigating circumstances. Maybe you need to change outreach strategies. The sooner that you communicate with your UC lead, the better, so we can help fully support. We definitely understand from a department standpoint. We go through a lot of the same things that you guys go through, staffing changes, other mitigating factors. So we feel that open communication that's clear is the best way to go for both of us, because if we're going to be partners, we really need to be partners to ourselves, and we need to be transparent with each other. So just wanted to highlight that. We're always here ready, happy to help. I'm going to leave my cell phone number in the chat. This is something that I've done in every iteration of CWOP because I feel like you guys should have full access to someone should you guys have questions. So dropping that right now and encouraging you all to save that phone number for me. Gina, will the payment advance automatically be issued to grantees once they have fully executed contract, or do we need to request advances? No, I believe that they will be once it's fully executed. I don't think that you need to request the advance because it's something that's going to be made available to everyone. Thank you for that question. I see one thumbs up. Thank you. You're welcome, Jorge. That's our aim, to be very clear and fully support you guys. So I just want to make that clear. I think part of the success of CWOP has been that I wanted to take a lot of bureaucracy as much as I could out of this, because I feel like I want you guys to be comfortable and to feel like you guys have an open door, and no question too big or too small. I never have a problem, asking whatever I need to ask or knocking on whatever door I need to for you guys. So I just want to make that clear. Will the payment advance occur every quarter, or will that just be the first? I believe it will just be the first. It's for an advance to start you guys off. So it will just be for that first, Laura. Thank you for that question. You are so welcome, Maribel. Appreciate you too. Just one question. Will we be funded for the full amount and not have it reduced, or do we wait until next week for the final notice? No, I think right now, Jorge, the amounts are as stands. It's what's listed on the CWOP webpage. And once again, just double it for it to equal that 24 months. I don't see them being reduced for any reason. Thank you. How long does it take to receive the funds after an invoice is submitted? So that's actually a question right now, Bonnie, that we have out to DIR accounting. I will say that we are reserving a 15-day review period just for us to review the invoice and then sending it off. So we have that question now, and we'll be providing that answer in the FAQs that will be posted on the CWOP webpage. So please look out for that. Nayamin, I see you have your hand up. Please feel free.
Sorry, I was typing. So the Activator Plus office hours, can you confirm? In the paper that we have received before, 2 to 4 p.m. on April 23rd, but I believe earlier it said 10 to noon. So can we confirm for Activator Plus,
Sure.
please?
Yes, we're actually sending out the calendar holds today, but let's flip back to that slide.
And then these are optional if you have questions, or are they also mandatory?
I think that it should be mandatory just because this reporting is going to look a lot different from last year's reporting, last iteration. So it would be ideal for someone to attend from your team so that they're clear on how reporting is going to work, because this is a brand new model. Same project, new model. So let's see here. I think we just skipped it. There we go. So you'll see those go out today. We'll be sending out
so it's
and calendar hold
from the handout that was sent out.
This is what it is.
Okay, so it's going to be 10 to noon. Thank you.
Yes. So from Jorge, I'm familiar with Ford, and it currently only provides a running total of engagement, but does not provide reports that are more detailed. Will those changes be made? We use our own internal reporting mechanisms to keep track of locations, cities, partners, and not just a zip code as Cord has us report. Well, this is a new model, so it's new reporting. We made several changes, Jorge. So I would probably wait to attend the session. And then if you still have questions, then please feel free to reach out to us. But it's very detailed, this run, I can say that. We did want to keep in mind to try to make it as comfortable for CBOs to do their reporting. But since it is a new model, new reporting. Laura Ruiz, is there any possibility of funding for the awards being curtailed given the cuts in federal funding? By curtailed, do you mean lessen, Laura? Is that what you're asking? If you want to come off mute, you can, no problem. No.
Yes.
Right now, there's no plans for that.
Like,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
shit, I thought that was.
Okay. Let me see if any other questions. When will be the actual starting date of the program, and how far back can we invoice from? It will be 6/30/2025. That's as far as you can invoice from once you have a fully executed contract. When does community outreach and education start? Same thing. Nothing starts until you have a fully executed contract. 6/30/2025. I see a hand up. Please feel free to unmute.
Hi, Cynthia. It's Maribel. So
Hi.
really excited to be here with everybody and really grateful for this opportunity. So I think, yeah, we were brought in as an activator. And so I think we're in the wrong meeting. But one of my questions is I know that this is for the next 24 months. If for these first 12 months, we're able to sort of meet our metas and maybe like even exceed them, is there an opportunity to be moved into that Activator Plus role? Or would that have to be after the next round?
I don't think that there will be an opportunity, Maribel, because I don't think that there's any more funding, because if you were to move up, I'm assuming that you would want more funding, right? And so I do not think there is, but I can definitely bring that question back to the bigger table and get you an answer.
Yeah, and I mean, we're even open to, obviously, right, because the funding has already been awarded. So I think we'd be open to doing that. And then the next year, you know, not getting that bump increase, right? But like being able to do it.
I see what you're saying.
Maybe we can just have a one-off.
Is there a way you can send that to me, Maribel, to the CWOP inbox? So that way I can bring it back to the table. Your detailing is great, though. That way I can express that to the bigger table fully and then work on getting you an answer. Does that sound good?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Okay. So let's see if we have any more questions. Please feel free. We have plenty of time. If we don't have questions, is it okay to have? Yes, Monique, no problem. And if you have questions later, you can always send them into the CWOP inbox. How long does it take to approve the contract when and after we submit it? So we're hoping that all contracts will be fully executed by 6/30, Jorge, 2025. That's for everybody. Thank you, Maribel. Thank you, HTC, for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes in case anyone has any more questions. And if not, you know, questions come up later, you can always send them into the CWOP inbox. Thank you, Maritza, and thank you to the MeCope team. Thank you. All right, so it looks like we don't have any more questions. Maybe this is a silly question. As executed, you mean have all the paperwork signed? Yes, Manuel. So once we have the green light, fully executed, everything signed and approved, that would be fully executed contract. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all for attending. And please reach out if you guys have any questions. Yes, we are going to send the presentation out. Look out for some messaging. Thank you so much. The RSC recording and FAQs are also up, and we'll be sending out the deck today from the info session that was made available for activators for RSC clinic hosts.
Yeah, Cynthia, we have a hand up.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Hi, Cynthia. Just a follow-up to my question earlier. So it sounds like from what you just said, the agreement execution from your end be by June 30th.
Yes.
So as I mentioned before, our internal office needs to sign off on that final agreement. Is there any possibility if we get the packet to you earlier, if we can get the agreement sort of finalized on your end prior to June 30th, just to give our office time to approve it?
The way that it's going to work is that you guys have to fill out the SOW, pre-fill out proportional to the reduction in funding, and send that in. I would probably send in an email to the CWOP inbox, but the ideal date would be 6:30 for execution. We're not going to approve anything sooner than that. And I say that because these also have to be put together by DIR contracts. So it's a team of people. It's not just our office. So if there's going to be a concern with that causing any lag time for your organization, I would definitely send an email in. If you could let us know what the turnaround process would be for your office, that would be ideal. But we will not be approving anything sooner than June 30th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.